Firstly, I think perhaps if I ask if there's any questions around the table here first, and then we can open up to, Ron?
Does the profit that derives from the increased price of coal result in a tax liability to Enegra?
No, because it's a gain, capital gain. So Enegra Group Limited is domiciled in Lubwan.
Mm-hmm.
So under Lubwan tax law, a capital gain on asset is not taxed.
Okay.
So any coal traded and any profit made on coal trades are taxed as income. So any other questions on the floor?
I did have one or two questions about the market making exercise, if that was an appropriate time.
Yeah, I think it's probably a question that other shareholders have as well. So perhaps what I'll do is I'll just close this. Give me a moment. And open up to the floor to questions, and myself and the other directors will hopefully be able to answer them.
Okay. So Mark Darris has a question according to the label here.
Thanks. Greetings, everybody. David, I saw the video. Congratulations on that. Made reference to EOTA. I think I've got it right, but could you just elaborate on what your intentions are and what does it stand for? Enegra something, obviously.
Yeah, so maybe Matt could answer it, but for Enegra offtake agreement, the plan is to tokenise part of the offtake convertible notes with a coupon, and then potentially to list those on a digital exchange in addition to EGX. The reason is it gives the board another option to raise capital. So rather than purely equity, investors will have the option of investing in a convertible note or some other debt instrument with a coupon. And these funds will again go into the trade finance facility. So they'll sit in the bank, and if the investor chooses not to convert, they'll get paid back their principal plus the coupon. It's just another means of raising trade finance capital. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we can base those EOTA agreements on specific commodity classes. So we could look at particularly having a energy class, that is, people enter into the debt for coal products. Also, we could look at sort of battery class assets such as nickel, zinc, etc., under a separate EOTA, so that investors that perhaps under their mandate aren't able to purchase coal products can purchase other commodity products within that class. So sort of opens us up to a wider range of investors.
Yeah, so it's all about giving Enegra the opportunity to appeal to that broader base of investors, as Matt was saying, particularly institutions that are looking for a debt offering rather than an equity offering, which helps to supercharge our efforts to turn our balance sheet into cash.
Okay, there any other questions that we'd like to raise?
I guess just curious about how you see the optimal converting shares into cash. Is it something that could happen in 6 months, or you think will take longer than that?
Yeah, I mean, from a liquidity point of view, we're obviously in discussions with a number of exchanges now. So with some exchanges, those discussions have progressed further than others, but listing the Enegra token is high on our list of priorities, and we want to do it within the immediate future. So certainly that's one of our real priorities. So, as per a time frame, as soon as we can find an appropriate exchange and listing venue, obviously we'll advise shareholders and let them know. But it is, from a board's point of view, one of our high priorities is to get it listed. But obviously, once an agreement's entered into, we'll let shareholders know.
I think Sam had a question, Matt.
Sam?
Hey everyone. Well, my question already kind of got answered. It was about the exchange listings, and if you have already a timeline for that, and if so, if you can already disclose which exchanges you think the token will be listed.
At this stage, we can't disclose, Sam, because we were still in commercial discussion. But obviously, as I said, some of them are quite progressed. So we're hoping to have something to shareholders, hopefully, within the next few months.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
Rob has a question.
Hello, Rob.
Hi, Matt. I had a question about the capital requirements and how far away are you from the goal right now in terms of how much more capital do you need to raise?
Okay. I mean, on that, we are looking under the private placement to raise 20 million by the end of this year. But it is all scalable. So depending on the amount of raised is the amount that we'll be able to trade. So, for example, under the nickel contract, we can scale from 1 million upwards, whereas given the current price of coal, we're probably looking at a minimum requirement of 10 million in trade finance. So obviously, depending on the success of the private placement, depends on how much physical commodity we'll actually be trading. So in answer to your question, for the nickel, it's probably a minimum of around 1 million to get up and trading.
Yeah, so it's really modular. We're attracting a number of institutions over the next few weeks, family offices from Middle East and Southeast Asia. And these guys will come in with much larger chunks. And that's why we've got IOTA, because some of these family offices prefer convertible notes. So, we have to design a product which meets their mandate. And, but we're very, very confident of getting in at least 20 million, certainly by December. And so that's where we are.
Will that necessitate the formation of subsidiary companies to ring fence from coal potentially?
At the under the debt facility itself, no, that'd be separate facilities. It wouldn't require separate legal entities. So at the moment, so the offtake agreements are held within a Singapore entity, obviously, but it could be something we may do in the future. Maybe have a separate entity if it's required. But at the moment, it's more related to specific trade finance facilities for specific product rather than specific entities.